Carapathy. And finally, Mayor Scarpetti here from Markham. So thank you all. Welcome. It's been a real pleasure to have everybody here. I think everybody's a little confused about who's Veoneer. It's a relatively new company. So about a year ago? No worries.
Probably Andrew looking for me. Tell her I'll be down there in another hour.
You threw off my timing. Yeah. About a year ago, we spun off of a company called Autoliv. Autoliv is one of the world's largest automotive safety suppliers, best quality track record in the industry. We were the electronics division within Autoliv. We got spun off about a year ago now with a focus on developing technologies for the new cars of the future, really the automated technology that's coming here. We're building the building blocks that are needed for the autonomous car. So in that regard, today we are building restraint control units. These are the ones that sense the crashes and can deploy airbags and handle the seatbelts. We're also building the radar technology that's picking up what's in your blind spot, what's coming up behind you for lane change assist, and that technology. But in the next coming years, we're going to be launching a number of new technologies. We're going to be launching forward-looking cameras here. These are the cameras that you mount on your windshield and look forward. A lot of cars have those today. We're going to start building them here in Markham. We've been building them overseas, and we're localizing them here for the North American market. On top of that, we've got some real cool technology that's coming. We've got high-definition GPS systems that can tell the position of your car down to the nearest 20 centimeters. So instead of being plus or minus 3, 4, 5 meters, we'll now have it down to 20 centimeters. Imagine you're driving in lane and the system knows through the 5G network that there's a pothole coming up. It can actually steer your car around that pothole because it knows exactly where that pothole is and it knows exactly where your car is. So that is some really cool technology that we're bringing forward here. Another one that's really cool coming up here is we've got LiDAR. So this is a laser-based scanning system that's 360 degrees. It rotates around, 128 lasers firing at the same time, all in the infrared spectrum. And what they're doing is they're scoping out all the objects around you, pedestrians, buildings, curbs, other cars, bicyclists, whatever else is out there, for a few hundred meters downfield and around you. This is really going to be key technology for the robo-taxis that a lot of car companies are putting together right now. You need this technology to know what's happening around you. So that's some really cool stuff that we got coming in here. That LiDAR technology will be launching in a couple years, and we are sourced on it. And finally, the one that I think is really the neatest thing, and we just did a demo for some of you guys, is driver monitoring. We have a system now where it can track your pupils. It can track where you're looking, and it can see what is happening. Are you paying attention? Are you getting drowsy? Are your eyes on the road or are your eyes off the road? Start to score people. Are you checking your mirrors? Are you making sure you know what's around you? Or are you just blindly staring on the road? Or maybe just blindly staring at your cell phone? The number one cause of road fatalities in Ontario right now is distracted driving. And this technology has a real opportunity to bring that down. We are very excited that we're bringing those things in. That one will be launching next year. All this stuff is business that we're bringing here. We're going to be bringing on, based on our current market forecasts and conditions, we expect to bring on another 300 employees into our facility here. There'll be 200 direct labor employees and 100 indirect. So we're very excited about the growth that we've got here. It wouldn't be possible without our strong team that we have here. We have excellent team members on the floor represented by the IAM union. And we have excellent engineering staff that's working here as well, represented by the Unifor team. So I want to thank all our employees while I have the chance. I want to thank everybody else for coming here. And at this point, I'm going to turn it over to Mayor Scarpetti. So thank you.
Very much. Well, thank you very much, Brett, and good morning, everyone. And Premier, welcome to the city of Markham. Last week, we were celebrating subway cars and the extension of those subway cars coming into York Region. Today, we're celebrating the advancement of personal vehicles. Also want to welcome Minister Smith. Thank you very much for being here today. And of course, MPP Logan Kanapathy, a former colleague on Markham Council, and certainly appreciate all of you being here in the city of Markham, which is at the center of Canada's largest automotive innovation hub. Today, we are celebrating the future. This is where the next generation of innovators will work on the next generation of vehicles. And I have to applaud Premier Ford and his government for making it easier for business to grow and create jobs by investing $40 million over the next 3 years in the 10-year Driving Prosperity Auto Sector Plan, which is going to help companies like Veoneer and cities like the city of Markham. The automotive industry is transforming quickly and Markham is at the leading edge of that transformation. We're very proud to be home to the GM, Canadian Technical Centre, to Honda Canada, to Hyundai, and Waynes Canada. There's no doubt that the auto sector is alive and well here in the city of Markham. Companies like Veoneer are investing in our city and in our province. They will be doubling the size of their footprint, their operation here in the city of Markham, creating close to 300 jobs. And that's the kind of news we want to hear and certainly to celebrate. Great things are happening in Markham, and certainly great things are happening in the Canadian auto sector. This is where some of Canada's most talented engineers and workers will innovate, create, and transform our mobility. I want to take a moment to say thank you to Brett Johnson and his team here at Veoneer for their commitment to creating those jobs and for investing in our community. Veoneer is looking to expand its operations in Canada, and it's the only company working on automotive electronics here in the Greater Toronto area. The team here is at the forefront of technology, creating the jobs of tomorrow, and changing the way literally people drive, making it safer for all of us on our roads. We are at a pivotal point and our world is changing and technology is transforming at breakneck speed, and we have to move with it to ensure a prosperous economy in all communities across Ontario. Our job in government is to create the right climate and culture for economic growth by supporting the needs of businesses and by investing in our talent through skills training and education. As mayor, I can tell you that when companies look to invest in our community, they often base their decision on one very important factor, and that is the talent in our community. We are committed to continuing to attract and retain that talent. We have a highly skilled, highly educated, and very diverse workforce right here in Markham and in Ontario, Canada's economic engine. Premier, the province of Ontario is open for business. Markham is open for business. And the future is now. When you combine the companies like Veoneer, their bold approach and innovation, along with Premier Ford's corporate tax relief and Markham's lowest industrial tax rate, the lowest in all of the GTA, and our international educated talent, the future is now, and the future will unfold right here in the city of Markham. So I thank you, Premier, for coming, and I now want to introduce the Minister, who I think has one of the most important jobs in Cabinet, and certainly congratulate Minister Smith on all that he's doing to create prosperity and jobs in Ontario. Welcome, Minister Todd Smith.
Thanks very much, Mayor, and thanks for joining us this morning for this great tour. I also want to recognize the Member of Provincial Parliament from Markham Thornhill, my good friend Logan Kanapathy, who's right here behind me. As Government House Leader, I can tell you that MPP Kanapathy is a great representative for this community down at Queen's Park. And thank you to Brett for welcoming us to Veoneer as well. Great tour. We saw the secret sauce today, so it was great to see that. Congratulations on this announcement and all your success. Your forecast for job creation is proof that Ontario is indeed open for business and open for jobs. And thanks to the leadership of Premier Doug Ford, we're making this happen. Our government is building an environment where job creators like Veoneer can invest and grow in Ontario. We're committed to creating good, local, well-paying jobs in communities right across the province, and that includes right here in Markham. Just a few short months ago, Premier Ford and I launched our Driving for Prosperity plan. It's phase one of our auto plan, which will strengthen our competitiveness right across the supply chain by making sure that we have the right talent with the right skills to build the auto sector of tomorrow. I'm really proud to be here today with Premier Ford after the presentation of our government's first budget last week, a budget that's going to protect what matters most to the people of Ontario by restoring fiscal balance in a responsible and a sustainable manner while making sure that frontline services like education and healthcare will be here for future generations to depend on. It's a budget that's going to put people first by bringing a new vision to how government services are delivered. while helping to create jobs and protect Ontario workers. The budget that was presented at Queen's Park last Thursday truly was a budget for the people. It'll put more money into the pockets of the people of Ontario, and it's going to respect the taxpayer. It'll protect the frontline jobs while investing more in healthcare and education. This is truly a budget for the people of Markham and for the people of Ontario. And on that note, it's my honor and my pleasure to invite Premier Doug Ford to the podium to discuss how our budget is going to help attract investment to Ontario and build a prosperous future for our province.
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it. Well, first of all, thank you so much, and good morning, my friends. I want to thank Todd Smith, my absolute rock star, Minister of Economic Development and Job Creation and Trade, for that great introduction. My friends, and Brett Johnson, by the way. Brett, thank you. You can see when you walk through the building, there was hundreds of people out there, my friends, and there was one person that didn't have a name badge. Brett knew the name of the person. That says everything. That says absolutely everything about this company when Brett can walk by there and name the people without a name badge. Very, very impressed. And I want to thank the team here at Vanier for having us today. We're also joined today by one of our absolute rock star MPPs down at Queen's Park, Logan Kanapathy. Thank you for having us by today. And I want to thank my good friend, Mayor Frank Scarpitti, for inviting me here to Markham. I'll tell you, Mayor, you're an absolute champion. He always wants to remind me he has the lowest taxes, and good for him. That's fabulous. So if you want to open up anywhere, come to Markham. You'll have low taxes and a champion for the mayor. Also, the mayor supported our regional transit system announcement last year, and I remember, I think was it before the election, Mayor, you had me sign off on something?
I did, a big shovel.
Yeah, that's right. He had the big shovel. He had me sign off on it, and as they were taking pictures, and I thought, boy, I better make sure we keep that promise, including. So what is really going to benefit the regional transit system is including the Yonge North subway extension, which will connect the subway to one of the region's largest employment centers. So thank you, Mayor Scarpitti, for all your support on that. My friends, it's just great to be here at Vanier Canada Inc. What an incredible company and talent like I've never seen back there. And to congratulate them on forecasting 300 new jobs for the Markham plant. You're developing the next generation of cutting-edge automotive technology right here in our province. And I'll tell you, when you go back there and the media is back there, it is absolutely mind-boggling that the technology, and this is the center around the world, they ship around the world. And I always say we have the most talented people in the entire world right here in Ontario. And you're showing the world that Ontario is still the leader in the auto sector. These are the latest new jobs that our province has helped create. In fact, since last June, Ontario has created over 120,000 new jobs across the province. I always say the province doesn't create it, we create the environment to create good paying jobs and have companies thrive. This is clear evidence that our province is on the right track, and a clear sign about what Ontario workers can accomplish when they have a pro-jobs government that wants them to succeed. When you get rid of the red tape, my friends, and all the bureaucracy, let them thrive and they'll thrive. We're making Ontario open for business and open for jobs because we know that each job we help create makes Ontario's economy a little bit stronger. And with a stronger economy, we can make smart investments and protect what matters most. And what matters most to people around the province are priorities like healthcare and education. We've already come a long way with our plan, Driving Prosperity, the future of Ontario's automotive sector. Our government will make sure automotive manufacturing remains competitive worldwide right here in Ontario. So many companies like Vanier can continue to invest and grow right here in Ontario because they know they have a government that can cut through the red tape, cut through all the nonsense and bureaucracy, and support them with absolute great communications between the local government and the province. Last week, our absolute rock star Minister of Finance, Vic Fideli, released our first budget. A budget that protects what matters most to the people of Ontario. We are eliminating the deficit, I always say, responsibly and thoughtfully. We're protecting core services like healthcare and education. We put $700 million more into education and $1.3 billion more into healthcare. And we are delivering on our promise to make Ontario open for business and open for jobs once again. This includes cutting red tape with our Open for Business Action Plan, creating $5 billion in relief to make Ontario more competitive for job creation and growth. This includes Ontario Job Creators Investment Incentive. This is what businesses told us they needed. Real tax relief for job-creating capital investments. My friends, this used to be, when I was in the private sector, it used to drive me crazy. You'd be in Chicago, you'd be able to write things off immediately, and up here you couldn't do it. Well, thanks to our government, and I have to congratulate and thank our federal government too, to making it easier for companies to invest in capital and immediately start writing it off. Thanks to this initiative, we will see between $7 to $10 billion in new business investment in Ontario. But as I always say, the only economic statistic that matters, will it create jobs? And that's exactly what we're doing here. My friends, thanks to Ontario Job Creators Investment Incentive, we're looking at between 50 to 90,000 net new jobs, and that will be on top of the over 120,000 net new jobs in Ontario that we helped create. My friends, there are jobs being created all across Ontario. Everywhere I go, I keep telling you, no matter when I was up in North Bay with Vic Fideli, anywhere, I hear from business owners, we need more people, we want to hire more people, and we're ready to grow. Our government is going to do more to connect workers with these opportunities so businesses and workers can grow and succeed. We're going to deliver real relief. We're going to make Ontario a place to grow. We're going to make Ontario open for business and open for jobs today and in the future. And I never get tired of saying this, never, ever, ever. Promises made, promises kept. Thank you. Yeah.
You can just, move your mic a little closer.
Right here.
Yeah, there we go.
Thank you. Hi, Premier.
Hi.
You're mandating that gas stations display your carbon tax sticker
Yeah.
with some pretty steep penalties attached for non-compliance. Isn't that the kind of government intrusion into private business that you tend to rail against?
Oh, absolutely not. It's about transparency and accountability. People of our province have to know how the federal government is gouging them on the worst single tax you could ever put on the backs of people, on the backs of businesses. And it's no different than the other stickers you've seen over the years that you go to the gas pump and it shows which percentage of gas. We just want to inform the public. This is why the gas prices are going up. You see what's happening over in BC is a disaster. But we're going to continue to fight the worst single tax, again, you could ever put on companies like this. Put it on every one of their employees, every single one of you. You're paying more. You're going to pay more to drive from point A to point B. You're going to pay more for everything in the stores. It's an absolute terrible tax. It's a job-killing tax, as I say. People have to know. And not only are we doing that, we're going to make sure that people on their heating bills are going to see the broken down part of why their heating bill has gone up after we reduced it. We reduced gas prices by 4.3 cents per liter. I was just meeting a transportation company. As a matter of fact, I was meeting about 8 or 10 transportation companies yesterday, and everything's going up in cost. It's going to be terrible for the economy. So we have to make sure that the people are aware how they're getting gouged by this federal government. Next question.
As a businessman yourself,
Yeah.
how would you react if the government said you have to display this piece of government messaging or pay $10,000 a day?
Man, that happens right now. You slap a sticker on there to inform the public, and the local gas stations that I go to and I talk to, they're quite happy to fight against this. They don't want to charge their customers a lot more. This is a fight that we have to continue, and hopefully today we'll have another partner with my good friend Jason Kenney. Hopefully he'll be elected Premier of Alberta, and we have Manitoba. Then we have Saskatchewan. We have Ontario. We have New Brunswick. People are frustrated. They're tired. And do you know what this carbon tax? It does nothing for the environment. Nothing at all. It's a tax with the word carbon in front of it. Next question. Hi, Cynthia.
Part of the budget calls for public health units to be merged from 35 down to 10 with $200 million in cuts. Are you setting us up for another Walkerton? What if there's another SARS? Public health was the leading charge against SARS.
No, not at all. And I think it was Dr. Cushman in Ottawa was saying that on these smaller units, it's even hard to hire people. We want to strengthen it. You know, just because we're driving efficiencies, and they're actually going to be a little larger and they're going to have more resources, but by no means are we doing that. We're going to strengthen the system, if anything.
And you just mentioned Jason Kenney.
Yes.
If he wins the election today, are you going to join forces with him, and do you think that will have a greater impact on the federal election?
Well, I think it will, absolutely. You just have another province that's just fed up, and we've already joined forces. I think the world of Jason Kenney, he's going to turn Alberta around. They've been struggling. Those poor people, my heart breaks for them. And he's going to be a close ally along with Scott Moe and Premier Higgs in New Brunswick and Premier Pallister in Manitoba. We're going to get together in what was that? I think it's in June that we're going to the Confederation meeting in Saskatchewan. So it's going to be interesting, right in the heart of that.
Morning, Premier.
Hi.
On education, there's obviously been a lot of animosity thrown around between the unions and yourself, et cetera. And I'm just curious because it seems like the conditions are ripening for a potential mid-90s situation where we could see a strike action. Are you concerned that there's a crisis here, and do you think it's reasonable to think that there would be a strike?
Well, I think before the ink was even dry on Election Day, they declared war on us, the unions. Not the teachers. I think the world of teachers. We have great teachers in this province. But is it a coincidence? When there's a pattern, my folks, they went on strike under Bob Ray. They went on strike under Mike Harris. They went on strike under Dalton McGuinty and Kathleen Wynne. They strike every single government that's in there. And let me tell you, the teachers union, they have to get together with the times here. Our grade 6 students are the lowest math scores in the entire country. Our system is broken. We need to fix it. We're increasing the budget by $700 million. Not one single teacher is going to lose their job. I think it's a pretty good deal that they have right now. They get their 3 months holidays. They have the best benefit package in the entire country, the best pension in the entire country, the health plan. They have a great gig, if you want to call it. They do a great job, by the way, and I appreciate all the teachers. But guys, don't pull this strike nonsense on the parents and on the poor students. They think they're coming after us. They're hurting parents. They're hurting students.
So as you just mentioned, there's obviously been a history of strike action. So if a strike does happen, are you going to legislate them back to work?
Well, let's cross that bridge if it happens. I'm going to do everything in our power to make sure this doesn't happen. And isn't it amazing how the previous government and the union sets a date of August 31st right before the kids go back to school? I can tell you that's never going to happen again under our watch after we get through this.
So it's not off the table, back to work legislation. It's not off the table.
Again, no, I want to work with the teachers. I want to work with the unions. Yeah, a lot of teachers I talk to, and I take endless calls from teachers, and I talk to them. They're very reasonable. They don't agree with the teachers. They don't agree with the unions. I apologize. One teacher said the other day that the most I ever get off my union is a slice of pizza. They do nothing for me, nothing at all. We want to work with them. We want to make sure the kids are in class in September. It's absolutely critical.
Good morning, Premier.
Hi.
You've said that no teacher will lose their job.
That's correct.
And yet, at the moment, there's hundreds of teachers getting surplus notices. So
Okay.
what message do you want to send to them?
So you know, and I think you know for sure, this happens every year, right? Mm-hmm. And then they all ended up getting hired. So again, they're going to be getting their budgets. Once they get their budgets, then they go through the process and they'll be hired. So let's talk after they get the budgets when we talk to the school boards. But we'll make sure that no frontline teacher, full-time frontline teacher, loses their job.
And boards are already saying that they're predicting millions in cuts based on previous announcements by your government. You say you're spending more on education. So what's going on here?
Well, it's black and white. The budget doesn't lie. Maybe they need to go focus on their math skills again, because we know 1/3 of the teachers can't even pass a grade 6 math. that our students are failing, and I'm sure the board's in the same spot. It's black and white. We are putting $700 million more into education. It's clear as day. You look at the previous year, you look at this year, $700 million more. So all the union wants to do is fight, and we don't want to fight with them. We want to get the kids in the classroom in September and give them better education and teach them how to pass a grade 6 math test along with the teachers.
Hi, Premier. Jack Cowan from QP Briefing. Yesterday, the Star reported on a 62-year-old Roma man from Hungary, Janusz Timku, who was hoping to ask the federal court to reconsider his deportation, which is scheduled for tomorrow. He said, due to the rising nationalism and populism in Hungary, he said, quote, "I will die if I go back to Hungary." So what would you say to him?
I would say good luck, because it's a federal issue. It's not our domain, but I wish him all the best. And sounds like a pretty sad story, but first time I heard about it was what you've just told me right now. But I just want to wish him all the best, and it's up to the federal government to deal with this.
Legal Aid Ontario is now not taking any more any new refugee cases. Is that a deliberate side effect of the cuts to legal aid?
No, I don't think so. It's a federal obligation. They need to start paying up. They owe us over $200 million, and they just refuse to pay us. Our infrastructure is just at its peak, especially in Toronto. I'm all pro-immigrant. We need more people coming in this country. Again, everywhere I'm going, I'm hearing we can't fill the jobs. We have jobs, but we can't fill them. No matter if it's in the high-tech industry, automotive, or transportation, food, that's all I'm hearing out there. So we need more immigration, but they have to stand in line and go through the process. They can't dive through the line through illegal border crossings like they do up in Lacolle, Quebec. 40,000 illegal border crossers came across. That's unacceptable. And the people that are ticked off the most are my supporters. New Canadians that come here that are waiting for their brother, mother, uncle, aunt, that have been waiting in that line for years in some cases. And all of a sudden someone jumps the line. That's unacceptable. But either way, the federal government knows us $200 million he has to pay up.
Hi, Premier. About political fundraising, there is this loophole which allows you to raise money for your leadership campaign, which you don't need. There's no debt, and then hand that money to the party. It's legal, but it's a loophole. Do you agree that it's something that should be changed?
Well, we can always review it, but it's been going on for years, and by all means, are we taking an opportunity to raise some funds, just like the NDP and the Liberals, and they can do it federally as well. Until the rules change, we're going to play by the rules.
But in the interest of transparency and building confidence in the political system and the fundraising system, is this something you're saying you would consider looking at changing those rules to make it just clearer for people what they're giving money to?
Yeah, it's fully transparent, and there's no party that's put on more $25 spaghetti dinners than we have. We've been around the province every few weeks. We're going to these $25 spaghetti dinners and reaching out to the people. And by all means, we're always open to reviewing stuff. But thank you for your question.
Thank you.
Morning, Premier.
Hi.
I just wanted to ask about new legislation that's planned to make it more difficult for people to sue the Ontario government, yet you are currently locked in a court challenge with the federal government. Do you think, and at this point, based on what we saw yesterday in court, it doesn't look like you guys are doing so well that you're going to win. Do you think that this is money well spent?
Well, again, we just want to make sure the court system runs a lot more efficiently. There's a lot of how can I say this? Activists that are out there suing continuously. Like the courts have never seen so many lawsuits ever against a provincial government. Even look sideways in some special interest groups out there trying to sue you. It's ridiculous. I've never seen anything like it. It's tying up the courts. I want to clear up the courts until real lawsuits can go through for real people, for things that really matter. But there's a lot of frivolous nonsense going on right now in the courts.
Do you not consider your lawsuit against the federal government frivolous?
Oh,
it's
come
taxpayer
on.
money.
You got to be kidding. You're talking about the largest tax grab you've ever seen in the country, with 4 or 5 other provinces on side. That's going to possibly put us into a carbon tax recession. Because when you tax people, when you tax businesses, when everything goes up, people start holding on to their wallets, and they don't get out there and spend. Frivolous. I'm shocked. Unbelievable.
Morning, Premier. Can you
Morning.
give us more details about your plan to merge ambulance services across Ontario?
Well, we're just reviewing that right now. Again, everything, we aren't going to leave any stone unturned. The service isn't going to go down. We just want to make sure that we drive efficiencies, and that's what we're looking at. So nothing's carved in stone, but we're going to look at everything. Anything that we can increase the service, make it better, and save the taxpayers money, we're all in. But thank you very much.
Do you have a timeline, or can you assure there will be the same
Well-
number of paramedics?
Well, there's always going to be the same number of paramedics, 100%. That's a guaranteed. But again, we're going to see if we can do things more efficiently, and we're going to be consulting with them and seeing how we can deliver the service a lot better than what we're doing right now. But I want to thank you for your question. I want to thank everyone in Veneer. What an incredible company this is. And again, if you unleash companies, get government out of the way, they're going to thrive, they're going to prosper and grow, the likes of which this province has never seen, and then the employees are going to thrive and grow. The community grows, Ontario grows. Thank you. I appreciate you coming today.